Hello, everybody. This is The Home in the World by Rabindranath Tagore. Chapter 5, Nikhil's Story, Part 6. Panchu's wife has just died of a lingering consumption. Panchu must undergo a purification ceremony to cleanse himself of sin and propitiate his community. The community has calculated and informed him that it will cost 123 rupees. How absurd, I cried, highly indignant. Don't submit to this, Panchu. What can they do to you? Raising to me his patient eyes like those of a tired-out beast of burden, he said, There's my eldest girl, sir. She'll have to be married. And my poor wife's last rites have to be put through. Even if the sin were yours, Panchu, I mused aloud, you've surely suffered enough for it already. That's so, sir, he naively assented. I had to sell part of my land and mortgage the rest to meet the doctor's bills. But there's no escape from the offerings I have to make to the Brahmins. What was the use of arguing? When will come the time, I wondered, for the purification of the Brahmins themselves, who can accept such offerings? After his wife's illness and funeral, Panchu, who had been tottering on the brink of starvation, went altogether beyond his depth. In a desperate attempt to gain consolation of some sort, he took to sitting at the feet of a wandering ascetic, and succeeding in acquiring philosophy enough to forget that his children went hungry. He kept himself steeped for a time in the idea that the world is vanity, and if of pleasure it has none, pain also is a delusion. Then at last, one night, he left his little ones in the tumble-down hovel, and started off wandering on his own account. I knew nothing of this at the time, for just then a veritable ocean churning by gods and demons was going on in my mind. Nor did my master tell me that he had taken Panchu's deserted children under his own roof and was caring for them, though alone in the house, with his school to attend through the whole day. After a month, Panchu came back, his ascetic fervor considerably worn off. His eldest boy and girl nestled up to him, crying, Where have you been all this time, father? His youngest boy filled his lap. The second girl leant over his back with her arms around his neck, and they all wept together. Oh, sir, sobbed Panchu at length to my master, I have not the power to give these little ones enough to eat. I am not free to run away from them. What has been my sin that I should be so scourged, bound hand and foot? In the meantime, the thread of Panchu's little trade connections had snapped, and he found he couldn't resume them. He clung on to the shelter of my master's roof, which had first received him on his return, and said not a word of going back home. Look here, Panchu, my master was at last driven to say. If you don't take care of your cottage, it will tumble down altogether. I'll lend you some money, with which you can do a bit of peddling and return it me little by little. Panchu was not excessively pleased. Was there then no such thing as charity on earth? And when my master asked him to write out a receipt for the money, he felt that his favor, demanding a return, was hardly worth having. My master, however, did not care to make an outward gift which would leave an inward obligation. To destroy self-respect is to destroy caste, was his idea. After signing the note, Panchu's obeisance to my master fell off considerably in its reverence. The dust-taking was left out. It made my master smile. He asked nothing better than the courtesy should stoop less now. Respect given and taken truly balances the account between man and man, was the way he put it, but veneration is overpayment. Panchu began to buy cloth at the market and peddle it about the village. He didn't get much of cash payment, it's true, but what he could realize in kind, in the way of rice, jute, and other field produce, went towards settlement of his account. In 2 months' time, he was able to pay back an installment of my master's debt, and with it there was a corresponding reduction in the depth of his bow. He must have begun to feel that he had been revering as a saint, a mere man, who had not even risen superior to the lure of lucre. While Panchu was thus engaged, the full shock of Swadeshi flood fell on him.